So this girl was bullied for looking like a squirrel, so she spent $200,000 on surgery. And we're going to be checking out quite a few things on here. So let's get into it.
Okay, so as you guys can see, I'm still really swollen here and all here, which like sucks because I want to see like the final product, but this is what I get. Ugh.
Okay. So it's a jaw dropping transformation. A young woman has had a $200,000 jaw replacement after being bullied for looking like a squirrel. Izzy Sehon, 22, underwent the 12.5 hour surgery at Cedars Sinai Medical Center in Beverly Hills back in February after she was diagnosed with idiopathic condylar resorption, ICR, a rare condition that causes the bones in the jaw to break down. The LA native told Southwest News Service that she had long struggled to eat, breathe, and sleep due to her jaw issues. She was also ridiculed for her undefined chin, with one person saying she looked like someone who had got blown up in war. I mean, that's some pretty horrible stuff to say. I was bullied my entire life, Sehun sadly stated. I didn't understand didn't understand why people didn't want to be my friend or guys wouldn't want to date me. They would compare my side profile to a squirrel and call me no chin. Sehon had braces 6 different times during her adolescence before she was finally diagnosed with ICR in 2020. An expert discovered that her TMG joints, the two joints which connect the lower jaw to the skull, were non existent and the surgery was the only option. Which is pretty crazy because basically, like, it's like right here in this area, she basically had nothing. She had like no bones. That's crazy. So the marathon procedure saw surgeons cut Sehun's jaw in 4 places, removing the remains of her original jaw and replacing it with custom made prosthetics. Now, what I wonder, right? So they completely removed her jaw and put in prosthetics, but how long do these prosthetics actually typically last for? Because is she going to have to keep on doing this surgery over and over and over again? Like, I have no idea. So this is what she basically looked like before, and you could kind of tell that like she had basically nothing there. Yeah, see, she basically didn't have this like whole lower section almost. Basically, that's kind of crazy. She didn't have like any bone. So Sehan also had fat grafts from her stomach put into her face to cushion her new TMG joint. I was terrified to look at myself at first, she stated. I didn't look for 5 days and made my dad put sheets and towels over the mirrors in the hospital. The surgery also left the brunette non-verbal for a week. I couldn't speak at all, Sehon recalled. I then started mumbling. And after leaving the hospital, the Los Angelino finally plucked up the courage to look at herself in the mirror, and she was stunned by what she saw. I started breaking down. I thought that was me, she recalled. However, almost 2 months on from the procedure, swelling has finally subsided, and Sehon is enamored with her appearance. I'm feeling with how it's starting to look, she cooed. Is life changing, and the college grad has been sharing selfies to social media, and she's getting no shortage of male attention. A lot of guys have come in my DMs post surgery, she declared, and people now saying we should go out. Which we have her Instagram pulled up, so we'll check that out too. So this is what she looks like now, right? It's a pretty massive difference. So after all of the healing and whatnot, she probably feels a hell of a lot better about herself. But this is an extremely expensive surgery. Let's see. So Horn says she's skeptical about the newfound attention after years of being bullied. Where were you before? She said of her new admirers, I only know who my real friends are. The thing is, there's probably guys who probably want to do stuff with you, I'm guessing. Now, before we pull up, actually, no, let's pull up the Instagram so we can like show what she looks like now. So she looks way different, right? She looks super confident on her Instagram, right? Although for some reason she really likes to post like photos of like her butt. Like I don't know why. Yeah, see, bikini, whatever. Tongue sticking out. Okay. Tongue sticking out. Butt, 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 and more butt. But let's check out this breakdown, right? Oh, wait, wait. Oh, it's muted. Okay.
I didn't even realize that I never went over the cost of the surgery, and so many of you have been asking, so I'm gonna go over that. I look so crazy right now because I ate mussels from Trader Joe's last night, and I got food poisoning all night long and all morning. So I've been vomiting and just that explains her. Anyway, let's get into it. So my jaw surgery that I got was a total joint replacement, a genoplasty, a Lefort one, and they removed the bone that I had left, or like the joint. I don't know. So for that exact surgery, the total cost would have been $200,000, or like one.
Like, think about that for a second, right? Imagine just spending $200,000. Now, the cool thing is she goes into it and most of her insurance ends up covering it, but oof.
$198,000. So we'll round it up. However, so my mom has been paying $2,000 a year for Blue Shield Gold PPO, which most in network doctors do take that insurance for this exact surgery. Finding a surgeon in LA that takes insurance was hell, honestly. But I found one and he took my exact insurance. He doesn't accept a lot of insurances. It has to be certain ones. I think that's pretty much probably all surgeons. So I did not obviously pay the $200,000. My insurance covered that part since it was a medical issue. However, my surgeon's fee, which every surgeon's fee is going to be different, was 69,000. So we
Like, to me, that's crazy, right? I think it's crazy that you're paying a good amount of money for insurance, but that insurance doesn't even cover the surgery cost. Like, that's crazy to me. Because let's say that the hospital, whatever, didn't actually take her insurance. We're looking close to almost 300 grand she would have to pay out of pocket for that, which is mind blowing, right? So 69 grand to the surgeon. Huh. Let's do this. So 69,000 for the surgeon.
we paid him upfront 2 weeks prior cash. I think it was like 69,000 or something. Keep in mind that's just the surgeon's fee. That does not include hospital stays, the anesthesiologist, my medication, or anything else like that. So all hospitals are different. I stayed at Cedar Sinai in Beverly Hills, and my total cost for staying, I think it's like 5 days, or 4 nights and 5 days, or something like that, and it was like 9 grand or 8 grand.
Okay, so let's just add 9 grand to this. 78 grand.
Insurance only covered like one night at the hospital, so all the rest was out of pocket. All my medication that I needed going home, I think it was like two hundred
We'll just keep that same amount.
dollars around that area. I'm trying to think what else I'm forgetting. I don't remember how much the anesthesiologist was, but I know that was included with like the hospital stay and like what we paid out of that like 9 or 8 grand. And these prices also don't include like the braces you have to have before treatment or the braces you're going to get after treatment and all the food and the supplies and everything. This is an expensive surgery. So if you absolutely do not need it, do not get it because one, it's painful as hell. Two, it's a lot of money, but I know ICR is super serious. So if you have the money to do the surgery, I'm going to tell you to go ahead and do that because it's so life changing that honestly, I couldn't be happier now. I was lucky enough to have my mom pay for my surgery and literally everything. She's a godsend. So thank you, Mom. I love you forever. She's the best mom ever. So yeah.
See, now she's in a very lucky position where her mom had the funds to be able to pay for something like this. But also, like, this isn't like the crazy thing about this isn't like a surgery where like it's purely like cosmetic. Like this is something that was like affecting your sleep, your health. If you're not getting enough sleep, you could end up getting sleep apnea. You could end up dying from that. Like there's a lot of issues with this type of thing. So the fact that she had really good health insurance and it didn't even cover all of this is mind blowing to me. The fact she had to basically pay pretty much what 78 grand basically out of pocket is insane to me. Like this is so expensive. Like healthcare is so expensive. And this person says, "Wow, so we paid the surgeon 42 grand. Her cost in one eye hospital was 223,000. I think we will get reimbursed 12,000." Ugh, God. This person says, "I swear you look like an entirely different person, but you just look so much happier in your skin now," which is true. Like from the Instagram photos, even some of these like TikTok videos on her account, she seems way more confident about herself, basically. That is insane. OMG, you look so good. Had the same procedure. It sucked. Wow, that's crazy. You still had to pay that much for a medical issue. Like, see, that's the thing that bothers me about this is like, she still paid so much money for a medical issue, not like a cosmetic issue, which is beyond crazy to me. Now, obviously, the after effects is basically cosmetic, where she looks a lot better, right? But still, like, this is horrible. But this also goes to show you the importance of making sure that you have some form of insurance. Because without insurance, this is like what? Close to like a $300,000 plus all expenses surgery. That's crazy. That is beyond crazy. Because most people will have to work 10, 20, maybe even 30 years to get that money, depending on their job. So it's like, that's insane. Like, this surgery is so insanely expensive. Where, like, it just doesn't even make sense to me. Like, that amount of cost makes no sense to me at all. Let's see. Mute this. See some of her other videos. See, she looks way more confident in this one. Looks more confident in here. More confident there. Apparently, she has a type of, I guess, guy. Oh, she's into F boys. And apparently likes to shake her butt for some reason. But, yeah. Let's see. Hold on.
The 10-minute option for these. So I'm gonna go over everything in this video so I don't have to like be like go to part 2, 3, and 4. So I'm gonna go
Okay, so
over
this
a
is without, I guess, the swelling. Interesting.
bunch of things in this video. First question is age. So that's a really good question because when I was 16, they told me I just needed double jaw surgery, and if I would have gotten that, I would have had to redo this whole jaw surgery now at my age. So
Oh, that is horrendous. So imagine, like, going into, like, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars potentially just so that a few years later you'd have to do it again.
hi guys, so a lot of you seem to have a bunch of questions about the procedure that I got done and what's actually in my face and if they did my nose and about the breathing and
Oh, wow, so she couldn't even smell before. That's crazy. Wow. Resorption is wild, dude. As a dental hygienist, I see it with bone and teeth all the time. Interesting.
all of that stuff. So I'm going to go over all that right now. So first is this question: did they put metal in your mouth or in your face? Yes, they did. I don't know exactly which one. I know it's titanium mixed with something else, but it's a prosthetic joint made specially for my face. So
Hmm.
I drew out this quick little diagram to kind of show you like how everything works. This is my before. So right here where I circled, that's where you guys have all of your joints and your bones that make your face protrude
So
out
right
this
here,
way.
basically.
As you see here, I literally didn't have that. I had a bone disease and it's called ICR, idiocondylar resorption. Idiopathic condylar resorption, sorry. What this means is that my body literally absorbed my joints. It's a bone disease, practically. So basically, all right here was just bone on bone. I had no joint holding up my face. Basically, ICR makes your teeth. There's so many different things you can do to your face. I've seen so many different cases. For me, my chin went so far back because I had nothing holding it up. My teeth in the back on both sides never touched, and my teeth in the front, they touch now, but they never touched before. So as you can see down there, my chin was also very protruded back, and it actually tilted forward, which is weird. So everything was back, but my chin kind of came out forward, which was like really weird. But so all of this is caused by just literally bone loss, like not having bone, and over time from like 10 to 22, it just literally disintegrated. So as you can see,
See, like, again, this is so crazy because this is purely a medical issue. Purely a medical issue, and she still had to pay that amount of money.
this is my before. You can see the outline of where they like expected my face to be. I'm going to show you a front panel as well, but the side panel kind of explains more. I wrote this.
Okay, so my new CT scan on my new jaw today from post op appointment. Interesting. New air breathing path. So, yeah, she literally could not breathe before. New and improved jaw. The joint that all normal humans have if you don't have the ICR or bone disease. Wow. Yeah, so like literally, like right here, this whole section she didn't have. That is crazy. That is so crazy. And then she had a new chin built.
This out so you guys can go ahead and read that if you want. But my airway is so much bigger. You can see my actual joint that they put in there, which is so crazy from the before, right before this. They brought my chin like up and back almost, which is crazy. I don't even question it. They broke my top jaw. It's called a Lefort in 4 different places. That also includes my nasal cavity. That's why you guys are seeing that my nose looks so different. Okay, so this is my front view. You can honestly see everything in this picture. Here on the side, you can see are my new.
Now, the cool thing about this, too, it also goes to show you just how skillful that surgeon actually is, right? Because that surgeon is pretty on point with what they did.
Joints. That's all the white areas. The X's and all of those is that's all titanium that's holding my face together now. Like literally, that's so crazy to me. Every time I look at this, I'm like, oh my goodness, I couldn't be happier with the results because my teeth all touch for the first time. So I'm gonna have to make a part two on the mouth breathing and all the other things I got questions about. But this kind of breaks down the ICR part of it. I'm also going to go over the double jaw surgery that a lot of people are talking about that was very different than my surgery experience. But I hope this answers some questions for you guys.
But yeah, so here's the thing. If you are facing something like this or some sort of type of surgery like this where it might be something that you might eventually have to do, for the most part, you might have to try to wait as long as you possibly can until you get it. Unless you have very good insurance and you have some way to fund this type of thing, right? Because this is probably not the only type of surgery where you're going to have to pay crazy amount of money out of pocket, even with good insurance, right? So that's pretty crazy. But it also kind of explains why so many people end up getting into medical debt and also bankruptcy, and why like medical debt is one of the main reasons why people end up going into basically financial destruction. Because think about it, if she did not have good health insurance, if she did not have a parent that had the funds, she would have basically been in debt for close to 300 plus $1,000, right? Because also it was also getting to the point because again she said she couldn't breathe, it was affecting her sleep, so her health issues would gradually start increasing more and more and more as time went on because there'd be more and more deterioration of her bones. So the amount of money that she might have spent if she waited too long might have been close to everything altogether, like 500 grand, because maybe they had to do some like crazy emergency surgery to like save her life later on, right? So it's just this is like really disturbing, just how much money this cost, how much money she had to pay out of pocket, or mom had to pay out of pocket, and like it's something that she didn't even do, right? Like she had like she had to go through this financial situation due to no fault of her own, just purely because of genetics. That is beyond crazy to me, man. By the way, if you want to learn how to get out of debt and grow your net worth and learn how I did that, go down below because, like, imagine you were already in debt and facing this type of cost. Like, that would be almost impossible to deal with. Man, that's some crazy stuff.